Okay. Now, before I give you my old people scoop today, for those of you, as I said, that are offended by not being politically correct, you might want to turn this off because my show today is what I'm showing everybody is how to use your blood pressure machine to kind of monitor your health to find out if you're going to make it till the end of the day. I can help you with a few tips. But yes, let me first of all put a disclaimer here because in the world the way it is today, you have to be very careful. So let me make sure that I do still need glasses to read. Let me just say this to you. This is Granny Tino's disclaimer. Now, yes, if you have any medical problems, conditions, concerns, pain, stress, bad thoughts, indigestion, or have numbness in your tongue, you might want to contact your doctor now to find out if you should even be watching this video. I don't want anybody to get sick because of me, in my opinion. So, like I said, this is not medical advice for you people. This is only for me to share what I do to look as wonderful and marvelous and have as much energy as I do at my wonderful age of 73. You know what I mean. Well, now that we've got that clear, I don't take any medications and I'm 73 years old. I do supplements, probiotics, digestive enzymes, vitamin C, vitamin D3. I eat whole foods. I exercise. And for those of you who might not understand what I mean by eat whole foods, that simply means that I eat fruits and vegetables. Okay. Now, I know it's a new concept for some of you. And so sit in your recliners and get a grip. Okay, so now that I've taken my blood pressure, I think it's time to get on with our show. And now remember, I did take the blood pressure, which is mainly what this show is about. For some reason, I decided I'm doing this today. And the reason I'm doing this is because when my doctor told me now that my blood pressure had to be in the normal range before I got my my cataract surgery, because I had cataract surgeries on two of my eyes. Yes, folks, you heard that here, true. Granny Tino did have cataract surgery. Okay. Now, I was told again that my blood pressure had to be in the normal range, and I'm sharing this information for those of you that may not know this information, but this is important. Okay, so if I did take her seriously, and after my surgeries, as you can see, everything went very, very well. And I can see colors, like these magnificent colors in back of me. And I was having a real problem with that before. And I can also drive at night and during the day without glasses. I now only need these glasses to do my reading. Like, I have a little script so I don't forget anything, because there's important information in shows that are not politically correct. That means they're just the simple truth. Okay, so that's again, monitor your blood pressure. And this show is telling you that Granny Tino, what I did, I'm always ahead of my time. And so what I did was I took it one step ahead of everybody else. I decided, since blood pressure was so important, that there must be a way to monitor it, because I believe in preventative self-care. That's how I run my life. Again, this is my way of doing things, and it may not be for everybody. A lot of people may just prefer taking endless medications, which, that's your choice. I prefer the supplement route. But anyway, so a couple of weeks, I decided to do this. To me, it seemed worth it. And when I did, and being a writer, I don't mind documenting things. So for 2 weeks, I kept my mighty blood pressure machine ever close. I kept it in the office. I don't usually do it around the clock, but to conduct this so that when I speak, I'm speaking from personal experience, not political correctness. Okay? So, do you understand that, peeps, all of you? I hope you're not offended. Duh, 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 duh. Okay, so I monitored my blood pressure after I exercised, and I monitored my blood pressure after I consumed a meal, and I noted what the meal was that I ate, and then which supplements I had taken prior to and after. And so I'm doing this because I wanted to make sure my supplements were recommended to me by a professional in the nutritional health field. And your body does change. So I like to monitor, well, how is it today? And I think the average blood pressure is supposed to be 120 over 80. And so I'm always, I'm even a little lower than that sometimes. And I find that I've been in a very good normal range since doing this. So that is exactly why I decided to do this. And for 2 weeks, I did monitor my blood pressure. So I know that exercising, eating whole foods, and drinking water and monitoring myself actually pays off. You know what I mean? Okay, now I just wanted to make sure I share this note with you because this is some other things I discovered or I may have heard before. And again, I was conclusively studying everything I did. So I did discover that most of the foods I'm eating and what I'm doing is keeping me steady. But when I eat something different, because I am a human being, and my diet is now during the week predominantly like 80-90% whole foods. But when I want something different, I find a way to put it in because you can balance out everything. So if I have something like pizza, for instance, and I will take my blood pressure and I make sure if I have pizza, what do we know about pizza? It's very high salt. And when you're monitoring your blood pressure, it's very important as your body ages to monitor your salt intake. You just can't get away with what you did when you were 20, 30, 40, 50, or even 60. Life changes. You have to go with the flow. So I found out that when I take my natural herbs, even when I eat something like pizza, again, I eat it with a salad or I cook myself up Brussels sprouts or have some other kind of whole foods with it. I don't even eat it by itself. I believe get some nutrition in there along with it because there's plenty of protein in the cheese of the pizza. So that's when I allow myself to have pizza. And also when I eat pizza, I also take paper towels and I block it off several times. I take off all the extra fat because I'm monitoring that too. Okay. Very important information is that everyone should know is I'm sure that you are aware of, that your pulse rate, your blood pressure, everything goes up when you are on the toilet. Did you know? Okay, again, I'm not worried about political correctness, so I'm talking about pooping now. When you poop, everything goes up. Are you aware of that? It's important to know because you know what? If you're mindful of the stuff you're doing, you could save your own life and get through another day. You can ask your doctor about anything I'm saying because it's all very factual. Now, I'm sure you've heard the story of the fact that many people actually place a bullet when they poop. There's all these jokes about, get yourself, have someone drag your body on the bed if you die in the toilet. Well, they won't have to do that with me because the reason that this happens is because when they're sitting there, they're suffering because they're putting out trying to shove out some pretty nasty, hard turds because they don't poop all that often. And the reason that they don't is because they're not drinking enough water, they're not eating enough whole grains, they're not eating enough whole foods, they're eating high carbs, high sugar, high fats, and they're just messing up the whole system. But what happens, what I'm really trying to say is while that's going on and you're forcing your body to push through the elimination, darling, what's happening is your blood pressure is skyrocketing and so is your pulse rate. If you were hooked up to your blood pressure cuff and taking it while you were doing that, if you were having problems going to the bathroom, you would be really, really scared and understand what happens. Your heart has to work very hard, first, to digest foods, and second, to eliminate foods. This is another reason why you don't want to go to sleep right after you eat foods. This is all real science. This is stuff I learned when I was much, much younger. Okay. So, anyway, that's the true part. That's the truth. Why people die when they're pooping. And you don't want to die in the toilet. So, you might remember that. Okay? You get it? Capiche? Understand? Comprehend? You know what I'm saying? With all that, what I do now is I can put this away. I don't need to have that around all the time, although I do monitor my blood pressure at least twice a day, usually in the mid morning and then later in the night, because there's some other important tips I'll give you in the future for these old people news politically incorrect shows, because there's a lot of good information. But also when I go out with my friends, because I love, socializing with friends when I eat is one of my most favorite things to do in the world, as I'm sure it is with all of you out there. And let's face it, no matter where you're eating, even if you make sure you eat, I get vegetables when I eat or salads if I'm eating something with more carbs. But no matter what you're doing, you're getting more salt. When you go out to eat, they do season, they do use salt a lot to make foods feel, sound or taste rather super good. So you can't ask for them not to add any additional salt in. But I do make sure that on a day I'm going out to eat, that I do my exercises in the morning, that I've had a lot of water, and I do have very special berry supplements I take that help me eliminate water during the day. And I make sure I take those. And also, that's another thing, you do want to be urinating throughout the day. If you drink a couple hours later, you should be, within 2 hours, you should be peeing that out. That's how you make sure everything is moving. And if that's not happened, just put your feet up for a couple of minutes every so often, and you help yourself to not retain salt that way. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So that's it. A lot of people, I watch Facebook posts. I have a lot of friends on Facebook, and they don't feel good. They're getting sick. It's a very unwell time for a lot of people. And I really take that to heart. It concerns me. And that's why I'm doing these shows, just straight from the hip, Jersey, GrannyTino, letting you know what you have to do. Because you know what? If you don't like the way you feel and you find yourself complaining, or you're just taking more and more medications and feeling less and less energetic, if you're feeling depressed, 9 times out of 10, a lot of this can be eliminated with a shift in your eating and your supplement intake and your exercise. This is very important. Movement is essential. 2 years ago, but everything in here still applies. It was because of Baroness Benita von Klingsford. She had her BA in nutrition. She had her credentials for being a practitioner of alternative preventative medicine. And she's the one that I learned how to be healthier. And that's why I'm 73, not on any meds. I have pretty high energy for my life. I do things that a person a lot younger might do. So I would like to recommend that you get my book, New Over 50. It's what I learned from Baroness Benita von Klingsford. And all this information is in here. This is really the premise and the way I eat. And this is the premise for the way that I live my life, because these are all about natural supplements and things. And it's what she did. And she looked gorgeous and healthy and lived a very satisfying life up until the day she passed. But it's like, so again, you can get this on Amazon.com, New Over 50 by Marguerite Fair. And let me close the show by saying what Benita always said. And this is true. This is what I learned from her, and I ingrained into who I am. It is not getting old that makes us sick. It is growing sick that makes us old. Think about that. Support your immune system. And this has been GrannyTino with the Old People News. It's not politically correct, but you can bet your buttons it's true. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Bye, everybody. And subscribe to Laughter Talks. Bye.